Hello. Welcome to Wake Up Less Anxious with Jim. The goal of this podcast is that after listening to each short episode, you feel a little less anxious. If you're experiencing anxious thoughts, crippling doubts, and any uncomfortable feelings, this podcast is for you. Here, I will be sharing some quick and easy tips to deal with all your uncomfortable feelings. Promise, hindi siya mabigat because, dealing with anxiety is hassle enough as it is. So, it's going to be a light conversation, and I hope these tips will help. Please support by going to bit.ly/less anxious and joining our newsletter. Okay. Sup mga anxnatics? I'm deciding kung anxnatics or anxifieds.
Anxified.
Ganda. Okay, so
Angsters.
what I really like doing after doing a session with my therapist, I like downloading it to Saab. And usually after therapy, I'm so tired and then and kasi late to natatapos. So I just want to share and like doing it in the pod makes me make it more concise kasi usually I go to you medyo bangag na ako and it kalat na siya. Hindi ko na kwento properly. So, first thing, the cycle of anxiety. I had a hard time explaining this last time. I hope hindi siya ganun kagulo. But, diba, the cycle is you have an anxious thought, you distract yourself, you get relief from that distraction, say smoking, vaping, drinking, vices, whatever. Then, after that relief is temporary, it actually builds up more anxiety in the long run. When you change the way you respond to an anxious thought, what it does is it calms you down. Diba? You don't run away from it. You don't distract yourself, right? It calms you down. Therefore, the cycle is broken. So that's been helping me this week. Actually, that's what I shared. Parang whenever nga I have an anxious thought, you know what I do? I snap my fingers. 3, 4, 5. Ganun lang. So it's something that I can do anywhere. Like kahit may kausap ako and it's kind of freaky, I snap my fingers 5 times and then I do.
That's nice.
Yun lang. Parang ginagawa ko siyang automatic. Anyway, what I want to share today is something that I've been trying to do for such a long time. Kasi I told nga my therapist like what helps me talaga are like tools. Like yung madadala ko kahit saan. Kasi syempre like I do meditation, I work out, I have these routines. It's not like naman like we're in a meeting, diba? And I suddenly freak out. It's not like I can suddenly do like a yoga pose, diba? Or mag-push-ups ako, diba?
Why not?
Gusto ko sana. I have to fix the curtains sa office ko. And this is something that I think that I can easily bring. And something that the anxifieds can do. Okay, so I really like this. Na parang she asked me, "What is the name of that negative person in your brain? That anxious person, that voice? Can you give it a name?" So I was like, "Oh shit!" As usual, parang, ano? Hindi ko gets. Like, what do you mean? So the exercise was just like, give it a name, right? Think of his face. Think of, does he sound like this? Itong boses na to. So I
Probably
said,
higher than that, is it?
Di ko nga alam eh. It's nice to think about, right?
Yeah. Does it talk fast? I feel like it does.
Mabilis. Yeah. Kupal talaga. Kupal. Hindi ko nga masabi sa kanya kasi.
Hindi ganyan.
Yeah, ganyan. Kupal. Oh, parang.
Way.
Yeah. Kupal talaga. Bully. Ganon.
Oh.
So, I was thinking about it and I couldn't say it kasi the best way to name it was Kupal. She's British.
Yeah.
So.
It's Kupal.
That's
French.
French.
It's Kupal. Wale.
So.
Wale.
Name. So I just said like an asshole.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because the whole conversation I was like, okay, what do you say to asshole? I love it. Anyway,
Now, this bloody asshole, what does he say exactly?
so what parang sabi niya like, what would you name the asshole? Si Kupal, right? It's like, oh, okay, asshole. And then who is the good person? If there's a good voice that would counteract this bad voice, what would his name be? And then for some reason, I suddenly said Jimbo. How else can we manage our anxiety? I recommend the Mind You platform that's genuinely reshaping how we approach mental wellness. They offer low-cost talk therapy sessions, but what I really appreciate is that Mind You offers a free toolkit for your mental well-being. From a community forum to a guided journal, a mood tracker, and even educational podcasts and articles, Mind You is a game changer in making professional help reachable and accessible. Download the Mind You app from the App Store or Play Store and explore a world dedicated to mental wellness. And then, who is the good person? If there's a good voice that would counteract this bad voice, what would his name be? And then for some reason, I suddenly said Jimbo. Because it's what what my mom and my dad called me when I was young. And very childlike. Ganun. Parang napunta ako dun. So it was a nice exercise. Okay, so sabi ko, okay. And then sabi ko, pero si Kupal or any other bully will debate you to death, right? Sabi ko, dun ako like, kaya before I even try doing these conversations between a good gym and a bad gym, I automatically assume that bad gym will out-debate good gym. Get me? For example, I said ang problema ko is like if it's an existential thing, right? So like I said, at night, before I go to bed, I listen to a Bible podcast. And like I'm moved, let's say by something, and I love it. And then bad gym comes in, si Kupal comes in and says, seryoso ka ba? Like parang, like, lalaki lang naman nagsulat nito eh. Parang ng Bible eh. Parang ano ba? Or something like that.
Sounds like my voice. It's man-made, Jim.
That was, I said, I asked my therapist, like, how do I combat this? Diba? Kasi I can't say na, no, it's a fact. Kasi sabi niya, when you do reframing, I've talked about reframing na kasi. It has to be fact. It has to be fact. Sabi ko, how do I do facts with existential stuff, right? And the answer is, the fact is, I can say it's a fact that I gain comfort and peace while listening to this podcast.
It's true.
That's what good Jimbo should say, right?
Yeah.
So, facts. Now, ang ganda lang kasi if I want to keep doing this exercise because if Jimbo keeps using facts, he is confident, then I will be calm, and then it breaks the cycle. And then, if Kupal knows that Jimbo will rebut, he will lose hope. The stronger that Jimbo gets, the weaker Nega gets. And therefore, the kinder Jimbo will become Jim na. And magkakaroon ng internal self-worth. So my homework for all the Anxifieds is this week, write it down. Get your notes app. Kasi you can do it in your pen and a notebook. Pero like, maybe you're waiting for your car or you have a meeting, right? Kinakabahan ka. Whip out your notes, your phone, right? And just start. I've been doing this kasi. I've been trying to do it. And it somehow surprisingly it does help. And I think just having this framework is different than my name. What I've been doing kasi is like I just write gym. I tried doing this yung for the past week. So for other people, especially if may mga law students dyan, this might help. You write down the thought on the top of the paper. You put the defense. So lagay mo yung evidence for the thought. And then on the right side, what does the prosecution say? Evidence. So nothing, just bullet points lang of evidence. And then at the end, ano yung verdict ng judge. Right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
So ako yun, I'm very excited.
That resonates with me.
And I'm happy na thank you for listening and hindi kita minamansplain. It's just
No, I like hearing about it.
yeah, I mean ganito naman tayo magkukwentuhan naman talaga. Kukwento ko naman talaga sa'yo. And doing it with a recorder forces me into making it more concise.
Yeah, I love it.
So ako, sa lahat ng mga anxets, prophets, I suggest na when you listen to this pod, I hope you guys can it might help taking it in para ituro sa iba. Because by doing that, you will kind of get it more.
Yeah. I like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.